Aloha friends, welcome to my page. This is Shamansi, and I am an intuitive medium, medicine woman, and so much more, so much more. I know that many of you that listen to these messages have also so many gifts that it's hard to narrow it down to really like a title or anything that explains on a 3D sense what we do. And so this new way of delivering these messages without the cards is something that Spirit has been wanting me to do for a while. I've actually made a couple of videos like this and didn't post them for whatever reason. It just didn't feel right for me, for my human self. And now I feel like it's time. It's time to open up and start sharing more. It's time to get away from the cards and the messages that are on the cards, because as I say that, I'm seeing 111, because as we ascend, some of the things that worked for us in the different vibrations that we were operating in before are no longer going to work for us as tools as we continue to ascend. And they're telling me it's not that the cards won't work for me at all, it's just that by not using the cards, I can, I'm channeling this so I can deliver a more authentic message where Spirit can actually just speak through me throughout the message, and I can connect and close my eyes and just go so much deeper than when I'm trying to shuffle cards or lay them out on a screen. Now, I do really enjoy my portal readings with all of the different magical oracle cards that I have acquired over time, and those will continue. I will go ahead and keep those up. But these Moonday, and that was 222. I love these numbers as I'm speaking. And the Moonday messages are going to change to something more like this. Eventually, I may put my face in front of the camera. I just don't think it's necessary at this time. So, enjoy this beautiful view as we tap in and feel what is coming for this upcoming week. Okay, so the first thing that's coming through is the Venus transition. So Mercury just came out of retrograde recently, and we are in a little bit of retro shade still. However, Venus has also come out of retrograde, and Venus is the energy that I get from Venus is actually a bit surprising to me. It's action forward, but with love, with an open heart. It's leading from the heart. So anything, it's letting go. Thank you, Spirit. It's letting go of everything that the mind can make up. Is possible to, the little stories that we tell ourselves sometimes. It's letting that go and really pushing us, okay, thank you, they're like, that's not a good word, um, expanding us to be able to fully lead from our heart space and deliver and receive whatever we need through our heart space as well. So, you may have felt like during the retrograde, there was a lot of overthinking. It may have felt like you had moments of clarity, but they didn't last long. And it was quick to get back into a cycle of overthinking, of wondering if, if whatever you were wanting in your life, if it was ever going to come, kind of these endless cycles of thoughts. And recently, they reminded me that we are shifting into non-linear time. Now, what that means is that in the reason we had linear time was because of the matrix systems, right? Because of all of the systems and structures that were put into place. And because we are shifting out of the matrix, we're rising into higher vibrations, we are no longer in need of that linear time frame. And I've mentioned this before in a previous message, but my husband and I have been playing with time for years. And they're reminding me now of when I first started to open up to different time structures. And I remember I would be walking down a hallway, and it was almost like what's the movie? Maybe Alice in Wonderland, where the hallway would get longer and shorter, and I just saw this time lapse. And then there were other things that were happening that just seemed off. And I remember asking myself, this was years ago, and I remember asking myself if I was crazy, what it was that I was feeling. Hopefully that noise did not interrupt what I was saying. Anyhow, what it was that I was seeing, if I was losing my mind. And I would tap into these higher dimensions, and spirit would tell me, you're not losing your mind, you're breaking free of the matrix. And then once I got to a high enough vibration, I was able to actually play with time and play with timing and things that need time for structure, right? So leaving, driving somewhere when I had to be there for a certain arrival time, and asking the universe to slow things down so that I could make it there on time without having to rush myself, getting to those locations early instead of late when, in linear time, I should have been much later than I was. So notice if you are or have worked with time before, and tap back into that, because we are breaking that structure, that matrix system. And so moving into this non-linear time, the retrogrades were bringing back a lot of energy, not just from this current lifetime that we are cycling in, that you are listening to me from, but also from other lifetimes, other places of existence. And it may have just felt like a lot, the retrograde. It may have felt like a little overwhelming at times, like you were waiting and nothing was happening and you just wanted something to shift. And what they were saying is that we were breaking, collapsing the mind matrix. Interesting. Thank you, Spirit. Collapsing the mind matrix and getting ourselves into a space where we can connect as the creators within and fully create the life that we are wanting to live. And so moving forward out of these retrogrades, we're going to start to notice some really big shifts, and things are going to happen very quickly. So if you have an opportunity that comes up, the first thing for you to do is use your discernment, tap into your heart space, lead with your heart, and feel into it. Does this feel good? Yes. Awesome. I'm going to go for it. Even if it sounds like it's too good to be true. Or, is this person good for me in my life? No. Okay, got it. I'm going to shift out of this vibration, right? And being mindful of the vibration you're in, and also the light that you are emanating. So this was new. For so many years I kept hearing turn your light all the way on, and this actually wasn't even from spirit. This was just through social media, through influencer accounts. You would hear things like, don't let anyone steal your shine, or turn your light up and let yourself be. And I fully believed that when I was in those lower vibrations where I really needed my own light to shift out of some of the shadows and dark spaces that I was in. And as I'm rising, spirit is now coming to me and saying, check your light. Check your light. Not that we need to hide or not be our authentic selves. However, we are these beams of shining light that are here to shift the vibration. And sometimes our light can be a little much. I know that when my husband and I are together, we can go places sometimes and we feel the, people that are repelled from us, that are just in a different vibration, and our light is just too much for them to handle. Now, the same thing actually happened to this body when I was an alcoholic many years ago, before my full-on awakening. And when the other soul, if you've heard about my walk-in experience, I'm just going to touch on it just briefly, but I will get into it in another video. When the other soul was still here in this body and I was helping her integrate out. Okay, bring that back, Spirit. Thank you. And, I remember there were times where she was in such a low vibration that she would go into, a public setting and immediately feel like people were staring at her, or they were looking at her the wrong way, or having some kind of beef with her. And it really wasn't that. It was just that their light was shining so brightly that it really was bringing up all of her own shadow, and it was too much for her at that time. And so I've gone back and really thanked the people who held space for this body during that time. Maybe that's something that you can do as well. I feel like everything that comes up in relation to my own experience is something that will definitely work for others as well. So perhaps go back and give love to the people who were there to shine light on you. To the, maybe there were times where you were super triggered, or just didn't understand why people were looking at you a certain way, or felt really self-conscious, or whatever it was. And just give love and know that, it's full circle. And as you rise, you're going to continue to shine more light, right? That's the whole, that is what we're doing. We are raising in consciousness. We are rising up to God's speed is what I'm hearing. And in that space, we become one in unity and in wholeness with the Creator. And the Creator is this beautiful divine light, just like this sun in this view here. It's bright and beautiful. And we sometimes, this is what I learned recently, we sometimes do need to shift our light to be able to be around certain places, right? Because a lot of light workers will pull back and go into hermit mode, or try to spend more time solo on their journey, because they are not able to relate with many others. Now, they're telling me now, because of the Venus shift also, that you are going to start to attract more soul tribe, more people that are in your vibration, that are vibing at that same frequency. So be open to those interactions. If you feel like you have this urge to go somewhere or do something, be as spontaneous as you can be and just go with it. There have been times, even for this message, Spirit, I actually was pretty tired. I just wanted to rest. I'm resting in the sun, and I heard, you need to go to this place right here with the view, and you need to make this video. And so I trust in it, and I came. And Spirit has done that for me many other times with other things. So if you're hearing, you need to get up and go to the store, or you need to go to a public area where you can walk around. Actually, just the other day, my husband, I told him, let's go for a walk. And he said, okay, sure. And he thought, like, our typical is around the neighborhood or at a park or a beach. And I said, but this time I feel like we need to walk the mall. We need to go to whatever, I don't know which mall. I just feel like we need to go walk around a mall. Our vibration is needed there. And intuitively, he picked up on what mall it was. We drove there, and we just had a nice little walk. And I feel like we were just helping raise the collective consciousness in that space. So you are in this same vibration too. It doesn't mean that you need to go out and spend money. It doesn't mean that you need to force anything. Just allow yourself to get out, and then the magic happens, right? Then we are in these spaces and places where we meet other magical people that are in our same vibration and frequency. And it helps us expand, because as we grow and rise and expand, we are coming into unity, community. And That's not going to happen if we're all at home in our own little comfort zone. So allow yourself this week to get out, to listen to whatever feelings, gut feelings you're having. Maybe your gut is telling you to take a different route home from work and you drive a different route. And then maybe you've been asking for something and you rise up this AM. I rose up at 3:30. I felt like there was a message. That definitely was. I have some amazing friends that are grid workers, and the message was for one of my lovely friends that is doing some gridding, and I reached out and gave her the message. And so you as well, like, listen to those little gut feelings that are popping up, like, oh, you should do this or you should do that, and follow your intuition. It will not guide you in the wrong path. This shift out of these two retrogrades recently, and with the Neptune shift as well, it has brought on another layer of discernment. And discernment to the point, y'all, where, the other day I was out. I can't even remember when this happened. It could have been a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And the point is, I was out. And a friend had invited me to lunch. I went to lunch with her, and the waitress was really trying to get us to close out our tab so that she could enjoy the rest of her day off. It was a lovely day. And the way that she was doing it is she was just flat out lying to us. And it was the strangest interaction. And we weren't purposely, not paying the tab or trying to stay there longer. We were just engaged in conversation. And, after we paid the tab, we felt like that was it. And then she again came back and continued to lie to us, and needed to take the paper receipt with her. And, whatever it was, this is just an example, but in that moment, it was just the funniest thing to me, because I'm like, oh, my discernment right now is like spot on. And this server is completely lying to us. And that shows you what kind of vibration people are in, because deceit, lies, even if they're little white lies, which I believe there's actually no such thing, you know, they are a lower vibration. And so as you raise up in vibration, instead of lying or, trying to soften something for someone, we're just going to learn. And, my husband and I have been working on this for a couple of years, and we're getting better and better. I think that there's still points where we do need to work on, but, we're getting to that point where we can lovingly say, I prefer not to do that, or, I'm just being in the energy of where you can actually speak your truth without feeling like you're going to hurt someone's feelings or take anything. Or the spirit is telling me, allow them to take it personally if they need to. It's part of their growth. So if someone asks you something and you in that moment feel like you need to lie to them, take a deep breath, ground yourself, and lead with your heart. Lovingly find a way to speak truth to them. So I know that that's not easy, and it's definitely something to continue working on. But the point is that our discernment is rising. And so even the littlest things where I may not have noticed before, this server telling this lie to go home, I may have never not noticed it, or I may have noticed it and not really paid attention. And this time I was like, oh yeah, if she just told us like, hey, it is a beautiful day outside, I'm off and I really would love to just close out your tab and enjoy the rest of my day. Oh my gosh. Like, so quickly I would have agreed with her and given her, made sure that she was completely taken care of. And, instead of the having to lie and be deceitful to someone that you don't even know, by the way. Like, it's crazy to me how lying and deception had become such a large part of the systemic society that even lying to someone you don't know seems very natural for a lot of people. So check yourself on that this week as well. Where can you be more in integrity and, and not have to lie because you want alone time, or because you need some, you need to take a walk, or have a breath of fresh air. They're reminding me, I saw something not that long ago about, raising conscious children. And there are times when raising conscious children where we are going to be triggered. Children bring in a lot of light. They are directly from source, so they are super connected and sharing their light. And a lot of time their light, to those of us that have any type of shadow, which is pretty much everybody, thank you, it is everybody, thank you, spirit. There's nobody that has zero shadow. If you did, you would not be here, you would have fully ascended. Anyhow, anyone who is triggered by the light of these children, parents included, or caretakers, cancel clear that word, parents, caretakers included, should, in that moment, instead of coming up with a lie or saying something that's untrue, or not being in their integrity to self, they should teach, themselves and their children how to take a step back, say, you know what, I need a minute right now. I'm going to take a few deep breaths and relax myself or ground myself, and then we'll take care of this in a moment. And then have a loving, kind way to lead with the heart, to be able to shift through whatever it was that was triggering or bringing up those emotions. All right, so let me see if I can remember everything that came through today and the synopsis of it. So allow yourself to get out, listen to your intuition. If you feel the call to go, walk around a mall, or to just be in a public space. Sometimes for us, it's just sitting in our car in the parking lot of a public space is enough. Definitely lead with your heart and allow yourself to get out into those spaces. Also, I'm asking Spirit to bring the messages back. So allow yourself to be out. Monitor your light. So there are some cases where our light is too much for people. And we are going to start to feel that. We're going to feel that there are people that we are around, and their energy shifts, where we notice, like, maybe they were very talkative and then they kind of stop talking and they're more to themselves, or there's just some kind of shift in their body language, or in their voice, in their connection or communication, or whatever it is. And in those times, just ask Spirit to turn down your light a little bit. Okay, my light is too much for this space. We just want to dim the lights. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Spirit. Dim the lights. And that will get you into a space where you can actually dim down a little bit. And it doesn't mean that you're hiding your light. It doesn't mean that you are not being your authentic self. It just means that you're allowing your light to shine and help raise their vibration in a loving, heart-centered, heart-forward leadership role. And then also, if you are in a space where you feel like someone's light is too much for you, also ask your guides to dim their light. Can you please dim the light that I'm receiving from them? Maybe it's too much, and I've had a rough day, and I was triggered a lot, and I am not in the capacity where I can continue to be triggered through the rest of my night. I really just need some rest and relaxation. And so can you please dim the light of those around me, or help me through it? Our guides are saying that we still are not calling on them to assist us as much as we can. So definitely call on your guides. They are there for a reason, and they are going to help you through whatever shifts and changes come through this week. Okay, I know that there was so much more, and because these are channeled messages, I don't always remember what was channeled. So I myself will also go back and listen to this. And I hope you all had a good experience with this type of format, and we'll continue to come back and receive the messages for Moonday and the upcoming, the next several days. And I feel like there's also going to be more activations that are going to be coming through. And I'm just going to leave you today with a little bit of Jore, which is the compassionate, loving energy of Kuan Yin, as first channeled through Meishu Sama. All right, so you can close down your eyes or you can continue to look at this beautiful sunset and just open up your hands to receive. All right, I love the little bit of light language that came through at the end. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a fabulous next several days, and I will look forward to connecting with you again soon. Take care. Adios.